providing us with a location for this event. We'd like to thank Mike Fuddy, who is the moderator from Toastmasters, and will be presenting the questions to our host candidates. And he's got about 2 decades of experience under his belt in hosting these types of forums. So we thought he was a proper person for this. We felt that Toastmasters provides the most fair and nonpartisan opportunity possible for the candidates to convey their message. We'd like to thank James Hutchinson with W.L. Gore for recommending to us to use the Toastmasters. And lastly, we would like to thank the citizens of Cecil County for providing us with the questions being asked of the candidates today. The Whig ran a front-page article asking people to submit these questions. The guidelines being used in today's debate are the same guidelines that were used in 2004 for the John Kerry-George Bush presidential debates, and it was supported by both the Democratic and the Republican Party. Now, before we get started, I'm sorry to announce that 2 of our commissioner candidates, Mike Dawson and Chris Zoskis, declined our invitation to attend the commissioners' debate. And then this morning we got an email from Mike Dunn, who also backed out of the debate. We tried to call him after that, but weren't able to get a reply. And, you know, it takes a lot of guts for these candidates to come out here tonight and face the public, because they're going to be given some tough questions here. And some people are going to be happy, some people might not be quite so happy. But this is where the rubber meets the road. These are people with guts, and I believe that the voting people respect people with guts and admire them. The candidates were brave enough to turn out today, and we should recognize them for their bravery. If you want to serve the people, you should be strong enough in character to look the people in the eye and answer their questions, especially if you want them to vote for you. With that being said, it is an honor and a privilege to introduce the candidates who were brave enough to face you tonight. We're going to start with Terry Moore. Terry, with the 2nd District. We have Ted Colazzi, 3rd District. Harry Hebert from the 3rd District. And we have Diana Broomall from the 4th District. You know, it's important to know that there are only 2 kinds of people that can run for political office. Those who truly want to serve the people and are willing to be up here and answer your questions. And the other type would be a self-serving person who has their own self-interest at heart. You know, keep in mind, America is the home of the brave. These 4 candidates are brave for being here tonight. So with all that said, I'd like to turn this over to Mike Fuddy. Where's Mike? Oh, there you go, Mike. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Great. If there is the press in here, please do not use my company in any articles you write. If you do mention my name, I am not here sponsoring Bank of America. I am here as an individual because I believe in the election process. I believe in everything. I love the turnout here this evening. So, that being said, again, I'd like to commend the candidates. I've stood in front of hundreds of people publicly speaking, and to this day I can still crack nuts with my rear side half the time when I'm doing it because you tense up here. So I do commend them for being here tonight. Yes, I am down to earth. There's no ego here, trust me. Couple things. First, let's cover the second most important thing beyond the candidates. It's the location of the bathrooms. I'll just reiterate. They're right there. There's a door on the side. One thing I will ask is when a candidate is speaking, please try to refrain from getting up and moving around the room. There will be 3 breaks through the evening, 5 minutes apiece. I know that the mind can't endure more than what the butt can endure. So we have breaks broke in. And in between questions, if you need to get up and run to the bathroom real quick, that's fine. If you come out and the candidate is still speaking, please wait by the door until the candidate is finished and sit down. And that is just to give the candidates the most fairest and possible in their speaking, and also respect for the candidates who are speaking tonight. There's a couple of debate ground rules, and I'm just going to explain them to you very quickly. The questions are limited by time. As Ron mentioned earlier, they were collected from the public prior to this event. When a candidate is asked a question, I'll address the candidate directly, and we have a stoplight up here. When the candidate starts speaking, they'll see a green light. When they have 30 seconds left, it'll flip to yellow. When they have 10 seconds left, it will flip to red. And when their time is up, we'll hear a bell. And I don't foresee the problem, but if anybody continues to speak beyond the bell, I have control of the sound system. So I don't see that as a problem here. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer their question. After the candidate has answered the question, each candidate with them will have 1 minute to reply to their answer. At the end, it will go back to the original candidate who was asked the question, and they will have 30 seconds for a final statement. Then the question will be posed to the next candidate, and that rotation will occur. We'll have roughly 5 questions during the individual sections for the districts, and then we're going to bring all candidates together for additional questions. How many we have will be based on the remainder of time we have at that point. Does anybody have any questions from the audience? When we are finished, the candidates will still be in the room. During the 5-minute breaks, the candidates will be here. Feel free to ask them questions, engage them in conversation, bring up points that are important to you. After we are done at 9 o'clock tonight, the candidates will also be here while I'm winding up 10 miles of wiring here, and they'll be free to speak with you. With that being said, Amanda, could you please escort districts 3 and 4 to the holding area? Did you hear the question? The hot question that was just asked me is, where's the holding area?